Welcome to Grit and Gravitas with Ann and Annie, bringing you savvy, spirited stories of success. We're excited to deliver 30 minutes of inspiration, impact, and goodness. We'll be bringing you guests and friends from around the country who have very special work and personal journeys. I'm Ann Dieter Gallagher, your co-host with Annie Carnathan, and this is Grit and Gravitas. Let's go! Okay, there's a lot of energy in the podcast studio today. We just had a podcast before the podcast.
Yes.
And all of our friends and guests will quickly see and feel the energy in the room.
Are we allowed to have this much fun?
We are.
Okay, good.
So
I'm jealous.
I am beyond excited to have I'm going to say friend and a business colleague. I've loved watching your business grow. Dr. Sarah Lorei. So we have the bomb guests. Like this one.
She looks it. I'm going to tell you, she's very looking good.
Sarah defines.
Okay, enough about me.
It's all going to be about you.
You define women in high gear. I mean, look at this. So, Dr. Sarah Lorei, you are you have your own family dentistry practice, Millenium Way
Dental Studio.
Oh, I love dental studio. It's not dental office. It's
Podcast studio, dental studio.
We
Dental
wordsmiths.
studio.
We are all about that. Mm-hmm. So you have a fabulous entrepreneurial journey that I was privileged to follow you on and actually work alongside you.
Yes.
With Patty Husick, who was a former guest on the podcast as well. So a lot of synergy, but you only need to spend 30 seconds with Sarah in person, and you're just like...
Sarah, where's your studio?
I'm in Enola, right behind Owls of Hampton. Do you know where, the Weiss and Giant?
Of course.
And so right behind Owls of Hampton.
So Mechanicsburg, Central Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Just a great... She almost makes me want to feel like it's okay to go to the dentist.
It is okay to go to the dentist. We have so much fun, and we serve wine and beer.
Okay, well now we're just going to increase the new
Well, with that proximity to Al, she better serve at least beer. But why and okay, I'll let you go cuz start. Why people need their teeth for a lifelong myriad of reasons.
Right.
Why is there such trepidation for the dentist?
Downright fear.
Yes.
Fear. I hear
primal fear
daily. I hate the dentist. I mean, it's not you, but I hate the dentist. I hate going to the dentist. I don't know. I wish that people were more, make it a routine. Like some people, if it doesn't hurt, they don't want to do anything about it.
The gynecologist is not a highlight either.
Yeah.
But if we're girls, we do it.
Compared to the gynecologist. What about the proctologist?
That too. So why dentistry? You usually do this. I'm sorry. I don't normally.
Why did I pick dentistry?
Yes.
So I actually wanted to be OBGYN.
Ooh, and you would have been fabulous at that too.
I would kill that. I would love that. But babies are born at 2 in the morning. 3. So I did not want to do that. That is my reason.
2 in the morning.
Yeah, but it's not an emergency. It can wait. Babies don't wait. So my brother was in medical school when I was in college studying for the MCAT, and I could just see everything he had to do and all the hours he spent in med school, and he would spend 8 hours in a surgery holding something for someone. I'm like, I don't know. What else can I do that, I'm still in healthcare? So I went to the library. This is many years ago. So there was no Google. I literally went to the library and I looked up how to become a dentist. And there was you have to take this test, DAT, kind of like MCAT for medicine. I was studying for that, but I said, okay, DAT, when's that offered? I called, because again, no Google, I wasn't searching anything. And there was a school offering it that weekend, Case Western Reserve University in Ohio. And they said, we don't have any spots, but you can come as a, walk-in. If somebody doesn't show up, you can take the test. So I went in, someone didn't show up. I took the test. I did well, and I applied to dental school. I honestly didn't know anything about teeth, but I absolutely loved it.
How awesome is this?
I loved it, but I still think I would have been a really good OB-GYN.
You would have.
I don't like those hours. So my hours are great, I'm Monday to Thursday, but the dentistry part of my life is this much, very little, and then the business part.
Well, so we want to get in. First of all, shout out to your nails. I mean, look at her. She's got nails like you.
I'm due to redo 2 weeks. This was my Easter nails.
I mean, and she brought us crumble cookies because they're brand new in Central PA.
They opened yesterday.
Is
Soft opening yesterday.
Yes. So thank you for having me. Love, Sarah. Okay. So you have to
That's strong.
Yes. So I want to, first of all, a huge shout out. You are a veteran. Thank you for your service. Is Brian a veteran too?
Yes, that's
Your
why
husband?
I joined.
Okay.
Because he
love.
He got stationed in Japan, and I couldn't work as a dentist in Japan unless I joined the military.
Oh.
So he owed 3 years to the Air Force. So I joined just so I could work.
So you joined in the Air Force or another
Air Force
line of service?
She's just entirely fascinating
Melanie,
already.
look.
I think we're 6 minutes in.
I wore combat boots.
No, I know.
I had the best time. I can do the 2, 3. I can do all of that.
So quick, what did you?
Quick. We're gonna have to be quick.
So no, that's true too. Yeah, I want to touch on the service. So as a young lady, how old were you when you enlisted?
Ooh, maybe
20s?
28? 24 to 28.
Okay, so what tip would you have just on that component?
Oh my goodness.
Younger women.
Wow. Anyone that has a chance, I tell everyone, all the kids that come, we get a lot of interns, people that want to follow in our footsteps, and I say the military is an amazing route. Amazing route. The opportunities are endless in the military.
Yep, limitless.
And I feel I'm an American citizen. I wasn't born in America, but I feel like having been in the military only 3 years, I feel like I gave back to this country. I feel so good about that time. And it was never in my thoughts to do that.
Yeah.
I only did it so that I could work while I was in Japan. But it was the best experience of my life.
Greatest country on earth.
I think
greatest country on earth. I love
amen.
this country. Like I said, I was not born here, but I am a citizen now, and I absolutely the opportunities here.
I mean, look at you. So you found a path to extraordinary success and a path to giving back. Because I've been with you on a lot of charity events and community service you've done. So I think Sarah's the first veteran we've had on.
Oh, really?
I actually think so.
Well, she is the perfect.
It's going to be hard to follow.
To have yes, it's going to be, and plus the crumble cookie box matches and mine, right? So this is strong. So you
go to Japan,
yes,
and you serve in the military, the Air Force for 3 years. Then you come back. Had you started dental school then, or you were?
I was already a dentist. Yes. So my husband and I met in dental school, and he did a 3-year residency after dental school, and that's what took him to Baltimore. And he deferred going into the military till after he was done with that. So I had 3 years that I had worked as a dentist already. And so when he got stationed in Japan, I had to decide, am I going to sit out 3 years and kind of early on in my career, and not do dentistry? I'm not going to be able to get a job when I come back after 3 years of not doing dentistry. And I just graduated 3 years ago, so that's why I decided to join. Good. But yes, we went to Japan for 3 years, both of us in the Air Force. He was an orthodontist. I was a general dentist. And then we had a baby there. My oldest.
Look at her. Talking about high gear.
My oldest, 16. Yeah, they make maternity BDU uniforms, which battle dress uniform maternity does not make sense. But I had her at the end of my military career. And then we moved to San Diego. And I worked at the VA in San Diego because that's where I had done my residency. Wow. So I went back and I worked at the VA. And then an opportunity came up for my husband to join the practice here at Lorei Orthodontics. So we moved here. I'm going to tell you, I was not excited about coming to Central Pennsylvania. Okay.
Did we change your mind though?
I do love being here and raising my family here and having my business here. We are great location, great people, but I'm telling you, I came kicking and screaming. I was in
so you
San
were
Diego.
coming from San Diego. Well, yeah, we can't compete.
Was it the weather primarily?
Yeah.
Was it just that you didn't know anything about it?
Didn't know anything about this
because you were from
area.
Ohio.
I was from Ohio. I grew up like in Ohio area. So, but being in San Diego, we were living downtown in a high rise overlooking Coronado. It was just beautiful, just the surroundings. Right. But we were living in San Diego in a high rise overlooking. When I was pregnant with my second, you know, I'm thinking, I got to go do this suburban thing, right?
Elevators, period, are difficult.
Yeah, there was no grass for my kids to play in. So we moved here in December 5th, and I had my son December 26th.
Oh, my word.
So it was like,
wow.
But yeah, I worked part-time when we moved here because, again, cost of living in California.
Oh, yeah.
I was working 5 days a week. He was working 6. When we moved here, he went to 4. I went to 2.
Yeah.
And so I worked part-time till I had my third baby. And then I thought, man, I can do this for myself. I'm tired of like working for other people.
Amen.
Know. And I've just worked in so many different settings, the military, hospital setting, private practice. I worked in community health centers. I've worked in a prison.
Oh.
I worked in a prison.
A women's prison or a men's prison?
No, men's prison for a year pulling teeth.
Oh, my word.
So,
that's a euphemism, too. I'm just saying, like, literally and figuratively, she's pulling teeth.
So I've worked in so many different settings that I took everything I learned from every one of them, and
I
made
a tapestry
practice.
of a background.
It's a quilt. That's our first business vitamin.
Yeah.
Is the adaptability of all your experiences to keep propelling you to the one for now on the journey. That's our first business vitamin.
So you were in the other practices. What exactly? And I came on, met you when you were just starting your business and had worked with Patty Husick and Centric. And I just remember her gushing with the story.
Can we talk about Patty for a second?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I honestly don't think my business would be here without Patty and her support. I went through a lot of local banks and presented my business plan, and Patty took me seriously, you know, and everything I wrote out actually happened, which shocked me. I was like, and Patty said, did you expect it not to happen? You wrote it down. I'm like, I know, but it actually happened.
But you're putting on your business hat. You're a medical practitioner, you know, so we often don't expect. That's a lot different skill sets.
It is.
And you had to march in there and present your plan as to why they should invest in you.
I didn't know much about business.
Right.
I was a dentist and they don't teach us anything about business. So I was really learning, you know, as I was going.
Right.
What is a business? You want me to do a what? So I had to contact some friends. Can I get a copy of your business plan? Like, what do you know? And
plus you have 2 children at this point.
3.
You have 3 children. Your husband had started his own practice.
Well, he bought into
a
practice. So his was existing. But so I was asking him a lot of questions about the business. So I've learned a lot about business. But again, I went to, you know, local banks. The bank my husband was banking with, they didn't take me seriously. Like, you know, it was very cold and we'll get back to, you know, and I didn't hear anything back. And so Patty took me seriously and helped me out. And not only were they financing the project, which was like swallowing like golf ball. Like, I'm like, what am I doing? Like, this is so much money, so much debt, you know?
Yeah.
But not only did she help finance my project, she took me out to events, introduced me to people, and I've met so many people, you know.
She truly believes in you.
Yes, and that was evident, you know. So I really respect her and support
And
sometimes it's just one person to believe in you.
Well, and we talk about relationships.
Yeah. And Patty believed in Ann. Patty believed in me. Yeah. Patty believed in you. And that is essentially what we're trying to do here, Sarah, with women. Is just say, could we please just help each other?
A lot of people are reserved. We were talking about that earlier because I was asking a lot of my friends for advice as I was putting my business plan together. I would say, call a friend and say, hey, how much do you pay your hygienist per hour? Because they want to know what I'm going to be paying in salary. She's like, I don't know. I'll let you know next week. Okay. But then there was people.
She knew, right?
Yeah, of course. But then there was people that were so generous, like Gary Klein, you were talking about dentist earlier. Yeah. And I mean, just an open book. Yeah, what do you need? Very helpful, So as women, we should help each other,
Well, and that's part of our, one of our passions is to shorten the learning curve of other women. So whether you're in PR, whether you're in media, whether you're in dentistry or whatever, there's certainly a lot of, business to go around. Yeah. But helping each other find their way in entrepreneurship, then that's a challenge. You're mixing a lot of different skills, which I deeply admire. But I do remember Patty just, talking about you all the time. We've told your story in their annual reports and in different media. Yeah. And I love it. And it's an inspiration to other women to say, well, maybe I want to open my own practice. If you're in that trajectory, they may feel so overwhelmed with
what they don't know.
Right.
Exactly.
But if you surround yourself with people that are supportive and genuinely care, the opportunities are there. What we talked about earlier, this is the best place on earth. This country is amazing. Yep. So many opportunities. And surround yourself with people that support you, and you can do anything.
That's a business vitamin.
That is a business vitamin.
Because and when I say everyone around me is smarter than I am, in their lane, they're supposed to be.
Okay. Right.
I have a lane, they have lanes, and I hire the best possible person for that lane to inform the business. And I don't purport to know what they know.
Right.
And if I do know what they know, I don't need them.
Yeah.
And so that is extraordinarily important, but I think women need the confidence to do that as well.
Yes.
And that's where we sometimes don't want that, not competition, but we worry about
confidence is huge.
Yeah.
You see McDonald's and Burger King across the street from each other. Well, dentists also set up shop near each other. I don't care. I'm my own person, only with experience and confidence. I'm not everybody's dentist,
well, that's gonna
attract other people.
That's in your wheelhouse. Amen. You say that all the time.
Oh,
I'm not everyone's cup of tea for sure. Okay.
And what control, why do we want to put any energy against a competitor or somebody? How in the world, there's no outcome for that. Not a good or bad one. There's none.
Yeah.
All that energy is just in a black pit.
Yeah, good for you. I support
you. Exactly.
And I have nothing against you. Next door, I don't. It doesn't bother
everyone
me.
needs a dentist, for goodness sake. You can't have everyone.
Right.
So,
again, personalities. I'm a people person. People that are drawn to my practice are drawn to my odd sense of humor.
No, I love to the beer and wine. Let's just go
the beer and wine.
No, she's state of the art, and I'm sure that you really have attracted some clients who maybe as a child were scared and petrified, and maybe the parents, I didn't love my dentist as a child. We had to walk from school to the dentist. Not friendly, and if you've had dental work, which I unfortunately have, I'm like, oh, I'm not going. I can't stand this guy.
Yeah.
But who would not love to go to the dentist?
I think one of the key things for our son at the dentist was the communication to him of every single thing that was going to happen. And of course the walls and the chairs, everything was fun about it. But it was, to me, I went in for so long or whatever, but it was just how much they said, this is what's going to happen. This is what this is for. This is why I just thought that was extraordinary.
And also talking to him and not you.
Exactly right.
a lot of times parents really force themselves in the room, which is fine, but then they take over and want, it's like, well, he's fine.
The
I'm explaining to him, what's happening. So I feel like sometimes parents bring on that fear from their own fears, but kids are great. We see a lot of kids.
Good. That's good. All my son wanted to know was that I was there.
Yeah.
Right. And I just kept like inching further and further away. So it wasn't my experience.
Yeah.
So tips for younger women who are thinking about starting a business. Positive tips, and then what were some of the barriers you found to getting where you're at? Obviously, the financing part, and that is such a common conversation.
Barriers for me, the hardest part is my internal guilt as a mom when I was away from my kids. So I don't want to cry about it, but it is a struggle, and every day I worry about all the time I spend away from them. It was a lot of hours of if I wasn't in the office, I was at home on my computer getting stuff for the office, doing this, the website, whatever. I had a good nanny that helped, with the kids, good husband that was equal with me, things weren't my job or, we worked well together. But to me, having help, like, again, my nanny, I had somebody that was always there, and I knew that if I wasn't with my kids, that they're being taken care of. My husband was there. We don't have family around here, so I didn't have family help at all. But that allowed me to set up my business, and I think it would have been really difficult if I
It's a heavy lift.
Yeah.
And look how much you're risking to do it.
Yeah.
That's everything into the center of the table, all the chips in.
But now they're in sports and everything, correct?
They're busy. Yes.
And you've been able to so what does work-life balance look for you? Any tips for...
There's no balance.
And it's Friday or day off and she's here.
I know.
Yeah, no, there's no balance. I mean, we are literally, since there's 3 kids, sometimes one is waiting because we are getting the other 2, and they all do different activities, and so it's tough sometimes. And again, we don't have family around here, but
that is tough.
But the oldest just turned 16, so she'll be driving soon, and hopefully that'll make things little bit easier. Yeah. But yeah, no, we want to be there for all those things, and we want to support the kids, but they notice when we weren't at the one swim meet. But Mom, you weren't there when I did my individual event, or and it breaks my heart because I wanted to be there. But so that's for me. Inside, I feel guilty, but I know I have great kids, and
you do have great kids.
I think they'll appreciate whatever.
Well, another business vitamin, there's always a price to pay.
Yeah.
It's this or it's that.
Yeah.
Very rarely can you straddle both.
Right.
And do it well. And that's my struggle is I start to do so many things, and I look up and I think my superpowers are gone. I'm not doing any of this well.
Yeah.
And it's hard, right, to double back and say, no, I'm not doing that. You're going to have to do that. And women just take it all on, I think.
We do. I can't say no to anything, and
we'll help you with that.
I load myself up, and but again, I think my kids will appreciate. They see Mom working hard, and I'm self-made, coming humble backgrounds, work really hard, and I think my childhood made me who I am, and I'm tough and confident now. I was not always. And I think about, am I giving too much to my kids? Like, are they not going to go out and be, go-getters and successful because they kind of have.
But they're going to see your work ethic.
That's what I think.
And Brian's, they see that modeled. And I think I'm glad that you're honest about this, because a lot of times women say, you can have it all. You can't have it all.
It's tough.
And not even at my age, now I have conversations with, I need to be at all the grandkids events. Now I'm bringing it a level down. Like I can't miss the, the first T-ball game, which is Saturday, and I can't miss the soccer, and there's 5 little grandkids. So we got the dance recital, and we're doing our very best to plan everything we do around those. So it's the same thing, but I know, I think younger women need to set a realistic expectation. We don't have it all. We're not going to have it all.
It's hard.
But there's like you said, there's trade-offs.
I just think the delineation is, Sarah, you have it all. I have it all. Anne has it. Blessings. Overabundant amount of blessings. And I had this conversation this morning in a business meeting about, our kids have it. So we fought really hard and worked really hard so our kids would have it better. And I certainly had it better than my parents, which was a struggle.
Right.
Our son has it better than either of us had it. And so we have it all, but I just go back to the price I paid to have it all. And I'm a hard worker.
Yeah. I hope my kids don't resent me for not being everything, but like you said.
And at some point, you know what, Sarah? They have to figure it out. Yeah. And they're responsible for their internal and external, personas, and they will. I mean, I go back, and my parents certainly, had struggles, both as a married couple, and now I know they love me. Yeah. They absolutely love me. My dad wasn't at a lot of things, but I know he loved me, and I know he did the best he could, and I'm good, right?
Yeah, same
I'm
my
thankful.
Parents, they were new to this country, didn't speak English. My mom learned how to speak English watching soap operas. So, to this day, you call my mom, she's like, "Hello, darling."
That's awesome.
I love that.
I mean, they did the best that they could for us. And
exactly what I think.
And
I'm
clearly
grateful for it.
Their decisions and choices. I mean, praise the Lord for America. Look, with all the challenges and turmoil we might have at different decades of this country.
But I think about, how did my dad know 30, almost 40 years ago to come here and what to do? Again, no Google.
No internet. No.
From a different country, didn't speak the language. How did we end up here and survive?
Be petrified.
Yeah. So 3 kids he brought here, and...
Did other family of his come?
No. It's not easy for Iranians to come.
Wow.
But he figured it out. And I know I'm mega oversimplifying that. Yeah. And it's just one crawl, walk, run, and little by little.
But the risk was worth it. I mean, he obviously weighed the risk. Do I leave my home country?
It's funny because he tried several times to come. Once we tried to come together as a family. Another time he actually wanted to be smuggled into the country, but he couldn't do it because it was him by himself and he would have to leave us behind. And so then we tried again, and he came on a student visa here. So he got his...
So where did they settle? Was that in Ohio?
In Ohio.
Okay.
But they now live in California, which every Iranian ends up in California.
In California, weather-wise, or what?
I don't know. There's a lot of Persians there.
Okay.
But yeah, they live in California and they love it. My sister lives in California. I lived in California until
you did love it.
Yeah. Until my white husband brought me back to Pennsylvania.
She's adorable, Anne.
I said. She's
is.
Like contagious.
She's contagious.
And I think Annie and I just spoke at Shippensburg yesterday. We had an opportunity to speak to college students. And a lot of the conversation, we were on a panel, was about relationships. And I think another business item for younger people in general, put the device down and develop relationships. Like go to events, go have coffee with people. If I hadn't developed a relationship with Patty, I would never have known you.
Right.
And now, we just had a recent conversation at a bank event. And I was like, oh my gosh, we have to have Sarah on. I see all your content. I hear fabulous stories. One thing you could tell your children, their mother sacrificed for the health and benefit of a whole lot of people. And that the impact you're having on whole families, that they are okay with getting dental care, because dental lack of dental care is an indicator in poor community health in different rural areas. So we're grateful that you invested like you did and put down roots here in Central PA.
Thank you. I love what I do.
And your children are going to hear this podcast. And I say to all the women we've had on, this is your legacy.
Yeah.
I guarantee you there are things your kids didn't know that we talked about today. And I mean, my son, I think he listens more than I think he does, or I pretend that he does, or whatever. He's very busy, but it matters to him.
Yeah.
And I think they'll hear what you're saying and know the legacy of that. And I think it's extraordinary.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. So taking advantage of the opportunities, and for you, like finding the opportunities. What did you want to do? Connecting with the right people here, even as an entrepreneur, to start your business. Any regrets in doing that?
No, and I think every event I went to, I'll tell you, the last one I saw you at was, that night we...
there was the bank event,
yes,
the merger.
The bank event we went to. That was 2 days after I'd gotten back from Australia. My time was so off. I really wanted to not go, but I said I was going to go, and I said, okay, I'm going to do this. And at every event I've gone, I've met great people, and something has come out, and that's how we talked about this.
It was you and me and Patty Civic, who's going to be on too. But it is refreshing. I see you in person. It's really good for entrepreneurs to spend time with other business owners to learn, even and it doesn't have to be a formal mentoring relationship, but even to hear like, oh wow, that's what Sarah did. And I knew your early story, especially from Patty, of the struggle to find someone to be in your corner, to lend you many tens of thousands of dollars. That's no easy feat.
So, at the beginning it was, to her, maybe for her lending experience was not a big deal.
Right,
for me, it was a big deal, but I was a small client compared to, but I have grown, and my business has grown. And so she has treated me the same way from then,
startup
to now, so.
Because you own your building now.
And I own my building.
You built your building.
Yes, and it's gone on to other projects, another building, another this or that, so you take that one little customer and you have a relationship with that customer.
It is.
And it turns into bigger things.
That's the last business vitamin, because we're out of time.
Oh my God.
And I just want to go back to Sarah, her word is her bond.
Yeah.
I went because I said I would.
Yes.
And when you start to find ways out of that, to exit out of that, the only person you're conning is yourself. Right? If I say I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it. Just like our podcast, right? We have businesses to run. We have enormous amounts of people tugging at us. Look, I have 2 podcasts today. That's it. I'm out of pocket, right? I mean, you have to be who you're about. Right. And that's why relationships matter.
So Sarah dropped a lot of business vitamin bombs with us today, but I think for younger people, not just women, surround yourself with the Sarahs of the world. Find those people,
supportive,
ask them for coffee, and return the favor in opening doors. Say yes to events even when you don't feel like it.
Yes,
because
even when it's hard to do.
So many surprises, and you were like the life of the party. I said, I miss Sarah. That's
because I'm inappropriate.
No, Sarah,
gotta get her and Susie and Grady together, right?
My golly, yes. Very, very similar life of the party.
Have some fun, everyone.
Yes.
Woo.
All right.
Thank you,
Sarah.
so much.
Thank you. Everybody, make your dental appointment with Sarah, and if not
the
with
cookies
Sarah,
are not sugar free.
have a high gear day.
Yes.
Thanks for listening. It's our desire that these stories will bring energy, ideas, and fresh thinking that you can use today. Subscribe to our podcast and follow us on Instagram, and have a high gear day.